All right, joining me once again here on the Matthew Filipowicz Show is my friend Jaclyn Friedman. Jaclyn is the Executive Director of Women, Action, and the Media, which you can find at womenactionmedia.org. She is the author of What You Really, Really Want, The Smart Girl's Shame-Free Guide to Sex and Safety. She is also the host of the great podcast, Effing While Feminist, which I can't, again, say the real title because we're on terrestrial radio, but you can figure out what it is because you're not a 4-year-old. Effing While Feminist, all of which and more you can find at jaclynfriedman.com. Jaclyn, thank you so much for being on the show again.
Happy to be back. Yeah, I'm sorry to make difficulties for you on your terrestrial radio. Don't want to get you in trouble with the FCC.
Hey, as long as we say effing, I think we're fine. Okay. I think we're in the clear. So yeah, let's do it. And I can always bleep if we have to. Okay. But I'm happy to do it. I think we all should be adults here. Come on, people.
Come on, people. We say the actual words on my show because I'm not on the radio.
Well, Jaclyn, actually, Wham has a really great campaign going on right now that I'd love for you to talk about, where you guys are actually taking on the gigantic media conglomerate Clear Channel over a really, really important issue. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, because Facebook wasn't enough. We decided we needed to take on another massive media conglomerate. So basically what happened was South Wind Women's Center in Wichita, Kansas, which for those who aren't familiar is the clinic that just this spring reopened in the same location where Dr. Tiller used to practice, Dr. Tiller being the abortion doctor who was murdered by anti-abortion extremists a couple of years ago. So this brave group of people reopened a clinic at Dr. Tiller's old site, and they're trying to advertise their services on the radio so they can let local women know what's available, right? And the ads are the most innocuous ads you can imagine. You can actually hear them on our site at womenactionmedia.org/change the channel, which I'll explain in a minute. But they basically are like talking about their range of reproductive health services. Because of course, like any clinic like this, they don't just do abortions, right? They do breast care, breast cancer screenings and maternity care and birth control and just reproductive health maintenance, screenings, all kinds of preventative medicine. And so they're basically saying, hey, we're open. We have awesome, trustworthy, licensed doctors. You should come on down, right? That's what the ads are saying. They don't say the word abortion. And they...
Oh, my ears. I heard the word abortion.
Oh, my God. God forbid we say abortion.
My soul. Oh.
So they prepped these ads and they sold them to local radio stations to run. And about a day after they started running on the Clear Channel stations, and I think there are 4 Clear Channel stations in Wichita, they were attempting to air them on 3 of them. One of them has mostly male listeners, so they weren't advertising on that one. And they heard from Clear Channel that they weren't going to run their ads. They started running the ads and then they pulled the ads, presumably because they got a couple of complaints, and that's all it took. And it's a really big deal, right? Clear Channel owns radio stations and television stations and billboards all over this great nation and beyond, right? They're a huge media monopoly. They also own the radio app, iHeartRadio. And so that basically, some station manager in Wichita can say, no, this violates our decency standards when, by the way, they run ads for strip clubs and sex toy shops and male enhancement products, all the time. Not that I think they should run those ads too. I want to be perfectly clear. But they have funny decency standards, is what I have to say. And it's pretty crucial, right? It may seem like, oh, it's just a couple of ads, but it's the difference between women in Wichita finding out where they can get healthcare services and not getting those services.
No, absolutely, and just the fact that the rank hypocrisy of what they are running, again, like if strip clubs, they exist, and there's many different levels of feminist thought on of sex workers and strip club dancers and all that kind of stuff. That's a different conversation here. But the fact that they are perfectly fine running that and then not actually running just a health clinics ad, that which is what this is. This is for women having access to health care,
to safe,
basic health care.
Basic health care, yes.
Precisely.
Some of which could be life-saving.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really ridiculous. And so talk about what you guys have actually been doing with the campaign, and actually how you've been going about this to actually try to reach Clear Channel and break that giant corporate wall.
So we heard about this from Southwind directly. And we reached out to them and we said, hey, can we help amplify this? They had already started a petition using change.org. And so we are certainly encouraging folks to sign that petition, which again, you can find at Women Action Media /change the channel. But beyond that, we've launched a Twitter campaign. We're using the hashtag change the channel, emails. We also have the phone numbers and email addresses of both the general manager, the station manager in Wichita who made this call, and the chief communications officer for Clear Channel. And we really encourage folks to get in touch with them directly, either via email or phone, and let them know what you think. Because one of the things that has happened since we launched the campaign is that the Wichita station manager responded to a reporter's question by saying that he had a responsibility to make the least divisive decision possible, and that's why he wasn't running the ads. And so we would like them to see that that was a really divisive decision, right?
Yeah.
Please let them know that not letting women have access to information about how to get healthcare is the most divisive decision you can make. So basically, at the moment, we've been launching kind of a shame campaign, just sort of reach out to them on every platform possible. People have been bombing their Facebook page, so, in the comments threads and on their wall. Really just trying to get media coverage. So that's been phase one, and we're keeping up phase one. And if anyone listening wants to participate, again, womenactionmedia.org/change the channel is where all the information is about how to participate. But we're also working on phase 2 and phase 3. So we're working on getting more signatures on the petition right now so that we can do a petition delivery. Mm-hmm. We haven't figured out exactly where. There's a lot of options for where to deliver the petition. So that's still in the works. And then we're also going to be looking at who else is advertising in Wichita on Clear Channel, and to see if any of them want to pull their ads in solidarity and start trying to hurt their bottom line. So we're rolling out strategies as we go, right? We want this to feel like a moving target, and like every time they think they've, we can just wait this out, this is what they're going to do, we're going to sort of up the ante.
Nice. And again, this is something where this is a station in Kansas, but this is also something that very easily, I'm sure it actually is happening in other places all over, other stations all over the country, that this type of thing happens. And if it's not happening already, it's very likely going to be happening, in the near future, especially now with all these crazy ass rulings and laws that are being passed all over the country against women. These type of ads are actually so much more important now, when all these different laws are literally shutting down clinics. This is actually a time where these ads are actually going to be much more necessary just for women to actually find healthcare.
Right. I mean, this is like one of 3 clinics that does abortions in Kansas, and let alone one of really few clinics in Wichita that provides low cost birth control to low income women. Like, they do some really crucial services that are not easily found elsewhere. And absolutely, Kansas has one of those quote unquote Big Brother right to know laws, which means women are forced to have ultrasounds, medically unnecessary ultrasounds against their will if they want an abortion in the state of Kansas. So if their right to know means they can be forced into having an ultrasound, and you'd think that their right to know extends to their right to know where to get healthcare services. And I think your point, like, yes, this is happening in Kansas. Maybe you gentle listener, maybe you don't live in Kansas, but Clear Channel owns radio stations where you live too. And what we want them to understand is they can't do this now, and we'll light them on fire in the future if they try to do this elsewhere, right? We want them to pay the cost now so that they don't think this is a thing that they can just continually get away with doing.